everyone, I'm Samara and welcome to Diary of a Graduate Student. This is a space to share stories, lessons, and reflections from the roller coaster that is grad school and life. Whether you're here to find connection, comfort, or just some company, thank you for listening. I am so glad you're here. Today, we have a very special guest. We have Yu Xiu Liu. Most people call her AZ, so this is how we're going to address her. She's an international student from China. She's a cat mom, researcher, and a lover of music and film. Currently, she's wrapping up her master's in human development and family studies. And on very exciting news, she's starting this fall her PhD in family social sciences at the University of Minnesota, which is honestly so amazing. Outside academia, she is actually the lead vocalist in a band. I have so many questions. Those are all so many amazing things. But hi,
Thank you.
hi, AD.
Hi.
It's so good to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited for this.
Of course. Okay, so I want to start a little bit about your master program. So I know before coming to the master, what was your major? Did you do it in China? Did you do it here in the US? Before coming to grad school, before starting grad school, so before your master's.
Yeah, so I've been in MSU for a little minute because I was a transfer student. When I first came to America, I lived in Boston for 3 years.
No.
So I like there's one time I come with my friend. She
Uh-huh.
used to be an undergrad student in MSU. And I just fall in love with how the campus is because in Boston they have so many different colleges. So there's no way you have like a whole campus
Right.
like how we have here. So I was like, actually, I want to transfer to Michigan State. And then
Wow.
yeah, I transferred to Michigan State. And they gave me the offer. I was really excited. I moved here 2021. Yeah.
Awesome. So what was your major in your
Oh yeah, in
undergrad?
undergrad, my major was psychology. With a minor in youth and society. So like
Wow.
auto license has always been something I'm interested at. As long as like when it comes to age,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the population I'm really interested in.
I love psychology. I'm just like so passionate about it. So I'll have a lot of questions. So when you were in China, did you know that you want to come to the US? And did you know that you want to do psychology directly, or kind of like this was a door that opened and you just took it?
It was kind of complicated because I don't know I'm gonna come here until probably when I was like 15 or 16.
Okay.
That's when I was like, hey, actually, I want to go to America for college. My family was really supportive about it, so I
Yeah.
went to like an international high school in China. It's like a high school just for kids to go abroad to studies and stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, I attend there, and I got an offer from one of the college in Boston, so I went there. But that's not my place. Michigan is more
Yeah.
like my type of place. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. Your eyes like lighten up when you talk about Michigan State, which is really amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so then my next question is what brought you to grad school? So I know a little bit MSU because you love MSU, but then why did you choose to continue doing grad school? And then why specifically did you choose to do Masters in Human Development and Family Studies?
Actually, doing grad school is something that I know since I was a kid that I wanted to pursue as much as education that I
Mm-hmm.
can. And I grew up with my grandparents. They really, really big on education. So that is something I think I embedded in my head
Yeah.
that I have to keep going to school until I have some like achievement or
Yeah.
like I fulfill something that I think I personally can do to help other people. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's like the main reason why I choose to go to grad school. But yeah, also the other reason about why HDFS is that during undergrad in psychology is really general knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So when they teach and stuff, it's basically all perspective all come together.
Yeah.
And I felt like during the process, I took this one HDFS class. It's about ecological auto license development.
Yeah.
It was really, really interesting. And I was like, oh my God, I never know there's a department called Human Development Family Studies. And I
Wow.
really just like I got really fascinated by the class. And then I
Yeah.
kind of searched a little bit more about this whole department. And when I was applying for grad school, I applied for different programs. And I was like, let me try to apply for this one, the HDFS in MSU, and
Yeah.
see if I can get in.
Yeah.
And I did. I mean,
Yay.
other program did give me an offer as well, but I choose between,
Yeah.
and I really wanted to do something related to family
Yeah.
relationship, and I feel like that's a big part when it comes to human development. So yeah, I
Um,
choose major. Yeah.
I
And I
love
think
it.
also it kind of narrowed down how when I was in undergrad, the
Yeah.
psychology major is too general, but HDFS really narrowed it down. Yeah.
Okay. I love it. Do you have a specific, so I know with masters, sometimes you do like a thesis and actual research, and sometimes you do a project. Which one are you choosing?
When I first entered this program, I wasn't planning on going to a PhD program.
Yeah.
So I picked the one that only I need to do like a capstone
Mm-hmm.
be able to graduate, and that's what I'm doing right now. And the topic I'm recently doing right now is like in China, the sex education and how it related to our society ideology.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
yeah, Confucianism is one of the big factor that kind of influenced why China don't have sex education. And I did like a literature research on that. Yeah.
Wow, that seems so interesting. I know that this must be like a lot of big research, but do you have like an elevator pitch? What did you find so far? I know like you're graduating soon, but what was the ideology in China about like sex education?
Yeah, it's because most of our culture, not just in China, the whole East Asian area,
Right.
like Japan, Korea, China, and some other small country as well, they have been heavily influenced by this ideology called Confucianism.
Yeah.
And it's been exist for almost 1,000 years.
Uh-huh.
So when I did my research and stuff, I find out because how they apply all this different like values to people, they
Right.
use shame and they use like family order and stuff. So more and more gradually talk about sex or related topic
Yeah.
become like a taboo because it's not something you should discuss in public. It's
Yeah.
not something you should talk with your family. And there's a lot of other reasons as well. So yeah, basically that is one of the biggest reason it's hard to kind of push the narrative of introducing more sex knowledge to kid or younger generation because it's a stigma for real. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so interesting. In Lebanon, we have this a similar stigma. So this is where I'm originally from. I'm Lebanese,
Yeah.
and we have a very similar stigma. Like moms don't talk a lot about this with their children. Schools, we don't have sex education classes, and it's really like I think a lot of times it's hard for kids to grow up having so many questions, and it's like a taboo to even ask them. So that's a
Yeah.
very interesting topic. Um,
Thank you.
Okay, great. So you're starting your PhD in family social science at the University of Minnesota. Kind of like in the third, fourth segment, we're gonna talk a little bit about the process of applying to jobs as a first gen student. But I kind of wanna know how you chose this PhD, and why did you want to do a PhD, and how you specifically chose this program.
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, because I feel like it's embedded in me
Yeah,
that I have to pursue education no
yeah,
matter what. And me personally, I enjoy just being on campus, just
yeah,
learn stuff. And I feel like I'm a really fluid person. I don't like a like a stable setting, and I felt like thinking about end my education and to get a job, maybe that's not the environment that's gonna make me thrive. I think keep meeting like different people and learning new stuff is more like my type of like the lifestyle I wanted to stay in.
Yeah.
So I know to be able to achieve that, I have to keep continuing my education because I just always have so many questions.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
wanna, you have, I feel like that's the right reason to do a PhD. Like, because you have questions and you wanna learn and you wanna know them. And that's honestly amazing. I'm looking forward to see what like you're gonna accomplish. So,
Thank you.
okay, so the last question in our introductory segment is gonna be more about like hobbies and things you like to do in your free time. You mentioned you are a cat mom, you love music and films, and you are a lead vocalist in a band. So tell us a little bit about those hobbies.
Yeah, I think music and movies is the two biggest thing in my life other than school. And yeah, I love my cat. So I love to spend time with my cat, and then for other stuff, I would definitely just go to movies. And I also love just watching movies at home, all types of movie. And I really love this one movie production.
Yeah.
Their name is A24.
Uh-huh.
They had a lot of great movies, and it's like more, I mean, nowadays they become more and more mainstream.
Uh-huh.
But I remember when I first discovered them, it was kind of like a underground production.
Right.
Um, and they make a lot of Indian movies, stuff like that. Yeah, it's just really cool. Yeah. And
Awesome.
yeah, for the music band, I had three music band. I had one
Wow.
when I was in high school,
Yeah.
when I was in China. And when I first got to Boston, I had a music band.
Uh-huh.
We performed in Boston in one of like the live house, and it was really cool.
Oh God.
And I had a music band when I was undergrad in MSU as well. But then I got really, really busy, so I
Yeah.
stopped all that. But right now I'm finding people in University of Minnesota to kind of come together and form like a new band, if that's possible. Hopefully.
Amazing. Maybe I'll take some links from you after the episode and we can link them for people who want to
Yes,
listen.
yes,
That's
thank you.
amazing. Yes. Or even like if people want to join too.
Mm.
What's your cat's name?
My cat's name is Xigua and is in English is watermelon.
Oh,
That's my favorite fruit. So I was like, I'm just gonna name her something simple and my
yeah.
favorite thing. So yeah.
It's cute. It's cute.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much for this nice introductory. It was great, like knowing a little bit more about you. So now we're gonna move to the favorites round. So we're gonna take a little peek into your life and maybe your survival kit. So speaking of movies, what is a film that or a movie that you really love? So one of your favorites.
I would, I was, there's so much, but I would name like three, I
Yeah.
would say. I think the first one, I watched it recently and I really love the whole idea. It's really a controversial movie, but I love it. It's called The Substance. Um,
I know
it's
it.
like yeah,
Who
it's
who are the actors?
Demi.
Demi Moore, right?
Yes.
She
Yep.
won so many awards.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, this is a good one. Okay, is it about aging or something?
Yes, I think the movie is trying to send out a really deep message of like how, as women nowadays, like
Yeah,
how many obstacle we have to overcome, and
yeah.
is like the main character is like a Hollywood star, so
Oh,
it's based on her story, and it's a crazy movie.
wow. Okay. I'm always looking for like suggestions for movies, and I've seen this movie won so many awards, so I'll definitely keep an eye on it.
Yeah, I really love that. Another one would be Jordan Peele's movie, Get
Mm-hmm.
Out. I really, really love that movie. I think he did something really pioneer.
Yeah.
And it's for our generation. It's like something different from before.
Yeah,
And also he kind of creates like an open door for a lot of directors to make similar film and stuff like that. Yeah.
I love it. And you said there's a third one?
Yeah, the third one will be a really old movie. Not
Uh-huh.
really old, but it's not like nowadays movie.
Yeah.
I think Psycho, it's something I also like.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know it, but okay.
yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. I love the way you talk about like movies. It's like you offer this also critique about the substance, which I appreciate. So give us a concert you will never forget.
I would say is 2018 I went to Rolling Loud,
Yeah.
the music festival.
Uh-huh.
And that was my first time ever went to any just like a big festival,
Yeah.
music festival. So it was really overwhelming, but it was so fun.
Right.
And also around that time I just got here in America. So
Yeah.
everything was just like so new and it was just yeah, it was different. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember sometimes like the first time you go to a place, like the first big city in the US, maybe not the first big city, maybe the second big city that I visited was New York, and the feeling that I felt, it was so unique, and I don't think I can recreate it. So I get what you're
Right.
saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is the last show you binged and you loved? I don't know if you're a fan of shows. You said you're a fan of movies, but
I am a fan of show as well. I recently watched Black Mirror, seventh
yeah.
season.
Uh-huh.
So good. So good.
Is it? I've heard that it's like scary.
It, I would say it is because
Yeah.
they tell you, I don't know, I just feel like shows like that, they be trying to tell you what's gonna happen the next 20 years.
I don't know if I want to know. Okay. Yeah, I've heard people telling me like people who know me telling me like don't watch this one.
Yeah,
Because
it's
like yeah,
very,
yeah.
if you don't like really scary stuff. And it's also, it's not like, it's more like thriller,
Yeah.
psychologically. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's what I feel like this is. Okay, maybe not my thing. Okay, so what is your favorite quote?
My favorite quote.
Yes.
I really don't have one, to be honest. I
Yeah.
feel like, um, but I do love learning about like affirmative type of quotes
Yeah.
because I think that boosts everybody's like self-esteems and stuff. So yeah.
Positive
But I
affirmations.
personally don't really have a favorite one.
Yeah, and I know like people also have codes that change from time to time, so that's also fair. But yeah,
Um,
positive affirmations are very important.
what's yours? What's your favorite quote?
Okay, I have so many because I'm a big fan of quotes. Like I just love quotes so much. Let's see. One that I have on my desk, and this one like I have it on my phone, is one day at a time. I just like it a lot. It just makes me like, okay, let's breathe. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like, I have an anxious mind and I think I need to tell my mind to like slow down. And one day at a time is just like, some days, even one day at a time can be a lot. And it will be 1 minute at a time, 1 hour at a time. And I just love this quote a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that for sure. Like it's like tell yourself you're here right now and it's
Yeah.
okay. Take it slow.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, let's do this last favorite, which is what is the favorite piece of advice you have ever received, or maybe you have ever given?
Um, I would say I would say something that's like I received from somebody else,
Yeah.
which is that I think is when it comes to life or
Yeah.
anything, don't compare yourself with other people.
Yeah.
If you really have the competitive in your heart, maybe
Yeah.
put it on yourself, like to compete with yourself. Every day you wanted to do better than yesterday, or just notice what you have done
Yeah.
and what changed inside of you. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that that was a really good advice somebody given to me. Yeah.
I like that. That's so important in academia too, right? Because academia is so competitive and there's always this like scarcity mindset too. And I love also like thinking about if you have this competitiveness, I like how you said it, like keep it, but just focus on like competing with yourself and like focus your energy on yourself. I love that.
Yeah, because I think as people, we are humans, so we're always gonna have some type of complicated feelings we probably don't even know how to
Yeah.
explain.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think it's really important to look within and
Yeah.
try to um doing this with yourself. Because if you wanted to compete with everybody else or compare with them, it's gonna be really painful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be always spending your energy somewhere else, looking
Yes.
somewhere else.
Yes.
Okay, that was a nice segment. Thank you so much. We're gonna move. Every guest on the Diary of Grad Student get their own custom segment, so something that is inspired by their story. So for you, your custom segment is such a powerful one. We're gonna call it First Gen, Far From Home. So you bring something so important to this space, to the grad school and to academia in general, which is your experience as a first generation international student. And like, in addition to all of that, navigating grad school in the US in a very competitive place. So we're going to talk not only about academics, but also about everything like the culture, the language, the identity, the logistics, and figuring it all out alone without your family. So let's talk a little bit how this journey has looked and felt for you. Um, let's start with starting the journey. How did it feel coming to the US for undergrad as a first gen international student?
I would say it was a really complex feeling because I remember when I first got here, I was just so excited.
Yeah,
Everything, and also it's like all of a sudden I have the freedom that I never had before.
yeah,
Mm. And it's like, the culture is totally different. A lot of stuff I only seen from movies before.
yeah,
Like you said earlier, when you first went to New York, that's exactly how I am. Because,
yeah,
like, I feel like this is the type of stuff I watch from movies, I hear from
mhm,
music, but I'm really here now. And I would say it's definitely like it's a process for sure. Because at the beginning, everything was just so cool. Oh my God. And then that's when culture shock kicked in. Because, when you're really here and ex
yes,
everyday life, there's
yeah,
just very overwhelming at the beginning. Um, and I feel like it's a process to even realize that because it's just a different time. Like it was excitement, it was
yeah,
anxiety, and I did have some type of homesick.
yeah,
Then I feel like gradually I start experience like culture shock from stuff like, when people in the Uber trying to like small talk and stuff like that.
yes, 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 yes.
Because in China, you don't talk to strangers.
Yeah. And here, like strangers, sometimes, like in the supermarket, they just smile at you and sometimes even talk with you, or like, and maybe in church or like in the Uber, like you said. So it's like very different culture.
Yeah, so like I feel like for me, because I'm an extrovert,
Yeah.
so that part for me was not like at the beginning I was just like, oh, okay, so this is how everybody doing this. We have to
Yeah.
do this whole small talk and stuff. But I know a lot of international students, if they're introvert,
Uh-huh.
it's gonna be hard for them because that's not a comfortable feeling, for a lot of
Yeah,
people. Yeah.
absolutely. And
So,
like also doing it in a different language that it's even like harder.
yeah.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of microaggression and stuff. So
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so can you describe one of the maybe first cultural or academic shocks you have experienced?
I would say is when I think it was really, really an embarrassed moment as
Yeah.
well. is when I first got here, I don't really know how to order food in the restaurant. Like
Yeah.
properly. It's like because most of the stuff I don't even know what it is on the menu.
Yeah.
So sometimes I have to Google it,
Yeah.
search it, and is because you have to be like, hey, can I please have this?
Right.
But when I first got here, I don't know any of that. So I would just usually go to a restaurant and be like, I want this, I want
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Later that kind of rude for you to do that, and I never know that until I learned from one of the class. They
Mm-hmm.
was teaching international student, and I was like, oh my God. I'd be just telling people, I want this, I want that.
Yeah, but again, like it's also like hard.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but thank you for being vulnerable. Like I identify with this a lot too. I think for me it was an anxiety of like or going and ordering, like
Yes.
going to the counter and ordering. So a lot of times I relied on apps. Like I would order on apps and even if I'm in the restaurant, I'll just order on apps and pick it up. And then it took some time to build this confidence of like communicating in English and just being very comfortable going and asking, but it takes time.
Yes. Yes, for sure. It really like at the beginning, I feel like talk to people on the phone or going to a restaurant really makes me feel
Yeah,
uncomfortable.
yeah,
Like, yeah, I remember it was, especially, I feel like another big culture shock is about the, um, I don't know, but in China,
yeah.
when we call customer service on the phone,
Uh-huh.
people pick it up really, really quick. They solve your problem within like 5 to 10 minutes, but
Uh,
here it's so different.
yeah,
And at the beginning, I was really, really shocked about just calling customer service about like open a gas account
yeah,
or open like the electricity
right.
account. It takes forever.
Yeah, like sometimes like you're lucky even like if they tell you how much it takes. Like you have four people, five people in front of you, you will know, but then sometimes it's just like you're on hold forever.
Yeah, that is something that really bothers me when I first got here because
Yeah.
I never experienced that. Never. Just,
Mm,
yeah.
that's very interesting. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about like your relationship with home when you're here. So what part of your identity or background you kind of felt that you were carrying with you when you are here, whether like in school or even like interacting with people in general outside of academics?
I would say because I'm from this one province called Shandong in China,
Yeah.
and we are like in China, people from my hometown is famous for being like very extrovert and well socialized,
Yeah.
I guess. And I felt like that's within me. Part
Yeah.
of me always love to just get to know people, interact with them, learning about like their life story and stuff. And I think also because I grew up in such a traditional Chinese household,
Yeah.
I bring definitely a different perspective when it comes to things. For myself, that's how I feel when it comes to classes and courses I'm taking. I can see like a different culture perspective through things. Yeah.
I love it because like you've kind of like seen this traditional perspective in China and now you are more in this different setting and you kind of like able to see both.
And it just makes me think more because
Yeah.
I feel like growing up, I used to think there's no double side of things.
Yeah.
Like if something happened, you can only look it through one lens.
Yeah.
But I feel like after I got here, I learned more and I speak a different language. It kind of makes me look at stuff different. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. This is so important. There is something I'm gonna try not to butcher the quote, but there is something that says like basically the biggest strength is being able to hold two opposing truth in the same hand. And like that happens sometimes in life, and I like that.
Yeah.
Um, how do you communicate about your grad school journey to family and friends back home who maybe not do not fully understand it because it's such a foreign concept for them, just being away or being in grad school, which is very normal.
I would say I usually don't. I do tell them about what's going on at school and
Yeah,
stuff, but only the result most of the time.
yeah,
Because I we have this saying in China is a lot of kids they only report to their parents about stuff that's happy. They won't
yeah,
tell their parents about sad stuff.
yeah,
Because I feel like that's how I've been doing it because I know telling them about like obstacle that happens in my life, they can't really help me
yeah,
here because like they're not here physically. So I just felt like it could be really, really stressful for my family because they will always worry they won't be
yeah,
able to sleep at night. So yeah, I feel like doing this process of being here by myself studying, I just really trying my best to reduce like the negative
yeah.
part. And yeah, so far it works okay, I think.
Yeah. How do you, so when you feel like alone in those moments and then you can't communicate with your family because you don't want to worry them, which is very fair, how do you navigate that moment by yourself? Like when you're alone, let's say emotionally first. What helps?
I would definitely say spend time with my cat.
Oh,
Help
yeah,
us and listen to music for sure.
yeah,
Uh, or just sometimes watch movies can really help because it can
yeah,
make me more anxious. But I would say definitely transfer the attention. If I
yeah,
start feeling really sad, emotional, I either gonna go to the gym, doing something, and just keep myself occupied.
yeah,
Yeah, I think when I was younger in undergrad, if I feel some type of emotions I can't handle, I usually just trying to find my friends to hang out with.
mm,
But everybody is growing, and I just felt like everybody is dealing with some type of stuff in their
yeah.
lives. So, gradually, I don't wanted to share this with my friend anymore because I don't want it to make them feel like it's a burden. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so like that's so sweet of you to think about this. I think like I've learned it also the hard way that a lot of times like if I ask friends for help, they might also ask me for help when things are hard for them. But I understand, like, I feel like a lot of times, like, you were like, I don't want to burden this person. But then I say to myself, okay, but life is not meant to be spent alone. Like, that's okay to talk with them today. They're gonna talk with me tomorrow. But it's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I still talk to them, but it's
Yeah.
more I feel like the older I grew, the more we all understand each other
Yeah.
and there's nothing need to be kind of explain more or being like extra and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. Okay, so I there is the other perspective, which is being first gen student. But before talking about this, what challenges do you think people don't see when they hear the word international student? Like there are the challenges, the common challenges that we talk about, which is just being alone in a different country. But what do you think are some of the challenges that really people don't see when we talk about international student?
First of all, I want to say that I know there's a lot of stereotype towards international student
Yeah,
because um yeah, because there is like different types of people, so they create different concept for other people in their perceptions and stuff. And I feel like for international student, most of people will say we're rich kids from, crazy rich Asian or,
yeah,
just super rich kids from
right.
really privileged background, which I agree with. I'm really thankful for my parents and stuff to give me this privilege to come here
Yeah,
to accept education, but also um the struggle and stuff. I think it's really the culture shock,
yeah,
that perspective. Because it's hard to really explain it to somebody that don't have the same experience, you know?
yeah,
Um, because it's like all the process is mentally
Yeah.
There's no physical proof of your experience culture shock.
Right.
You are feeling like a identity crisis.
Yeah.
Um, because all of these are emotional and mentally processed. So I felt like that would definitely be one of and the loneliness international students have. We don't really speak the language. We have a whole different culture. We eat different food. We have different values when it comes to things. So I feel like a lot of people, they only see the shining outside,
Yeah.
but not much people can put themselves in the same predicament and thinking about, oh, what if I go to this country that's 1,000 miles away? My family wasn't around, it was only myself, and it's like a totally different culture background. They have totally different communication ways,
Yeah.
just everything is different. So yeah, I would say the culture shock, the identity crisis, the mental problems is what people usually can't really see through.
Yeah. And the extent of it, like you were mentioning, you're talking about like food, and I was just thinking like we're not only putting our mind and heart in a different place, but we're also putting our body into a different place. Like our body is not used to this lifestyle, to this type of food, to this type of, I don't know, water. Like everything is so different. Like even your body is adjusting.
And that's a really, really interesting point because I remember talking to one of my friend about I made some American friend here.
Yeah.
So I was telling them, oh, one summer y'all should come visit China. It's so fun. I will just be the tourist for you
Yeah.
guys. And then I start telling them about but every time when I fly back from America to China,
Yeah.
it's like the first month I'm gonna be sick
Mm.
because the soil is different,
Yeah.
the food, the water,
Yeah.
and the bacteria that's in our stomach is different.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh my God, I never thought about it like that." I was like, "Yeah, that's a real problem." It's like every time I flew back to home
Yeah.
and fly back, I always got sick because I have to, drink different
Adjust.
water.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's like a real problems that most people don't really know
Yeah.
because that is a struggle.
Yeah, thank you. This is why like I feel it's so important to talk about it. Like even if it helps one person understand it more, like it's just very useful. Okay, there is the second part of the whole thing, which is being a first-gen student, which adds even more struggle, but also sometimes more growth to the whole equation. But what were also some of the struggles that you went through being a first-gen student, like in applying to grad school for the first time? Because maybe you can't go to your parents for advice about resume or like advice about, some things. And how being a first gen kind of like shaped your approach to research and teaching and community in general.
I would say first part is definitely have to figure out everything by myself.
Yeah.
But like I said earlier, I already have some type of privilege because they do support me financially.
Okay.
So I couldn't imagine the international first generation student that don't have the financial support from their family is just gonna be harder,
Yeah.
I feel like. And also the process of figuring out by yourself, yes, you can learn from it, but it can also be uncomfortable and vulnerable because not everybody that you run to want to ask a question will be nice, and you have to be the one to adjust yourself to accept the fact. But I feel like I'm really grateful because so far, how I figured out everything, like all the resources, all the people that connected me to it, it was really nice. So I didn't really have a really bad experience doing
Yeah.
this, but I felt like more and more people, like myself, I wanted to, in the future, I wanted to really do something to really help international students, especially if they're first gen.
Yeah.
I feel like each campus should have something that can really, really, really provide help. Not just, website gave you links, you can just go browse and
Right.
find out what you got to figure out.
Yeah.
That's really complicated when it comes to people that don't understand how to find out the reason. Like the answer, how can I find something that I don't even know exists?
Exist. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And I feel like, yeah, they should put more people with like similar background
Right.
to positions like this to help or assistant first gen international student for sure.
Yeah.
Just yeah, I would say for sure is like the have to have the confidence, also have to be like you have to act like you don't care about what other people is gonna say to you
Right.
during this whole process of finding an answer for something. I feel like, yeah.
Like,
Because
just go for it. Go for finding resources, talk to people. You have to be like more out there.
yeah, because I remember when I first entered my master program, I reached directly to the director of the department and I was
Yeah.
like, please, I wanted to introduce myself. And if there's any opportunity I can be like a TA or RA, like please consider me. And
Yeah.
just doing stuff like that. But that takes a lot. I think for me, it's easy to do is because I'm an extrovert.
Yeah.
But like for people that don't have that, they are not be able to do, like all that seeking advice, trying to find what's going on.
Yeah, you were saying something like super important, like the idea of asking for help. Like a lot of people even have shame around asking for help. And sometimes even people don't know that it's possible to ask for help. Like they don't know that there are resources that, like you said, exist for those type of situations. And even if they do, like just there's a big weight on doing the first step and asking for help. So that's definitely even harder for like first gen and international students. So for the second part of the question, how did this shape the way you approach research, teaching, or maybe community?
I would definitely say empathy is a big part.
Yeah,
I feel like there's a lot of controversial talk when it comes to in academia, the empathy and
right.
sympathy, because it's such a competitive space. So most
Yeah,
of the people, they have to separate their emotions and basically their job and their emotions have to be separated to be more professional. But I feel like this is something that can coexist.
yeah,
I believe I can be an individual with empathy, understand what other people is going through and still do my job good. So I feel like that's something that I wanted to set as my personal goals
yeah,
and also just keep doing things towards this direction. Is like, I wanted to understand people. I wanted to, really put myself in their shoes and to think if I were them or, like if they was me,
yeah,
what will they do? And I felt like that's one of the thing that shaped me
yeah.
through research and works and also applying for schools and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. Like you can be very empathetic and compassionate person and be very assertive. Like I also don't like the idea of like just because you're a nice person and you're like a kind person, that doesn't mean like you're weak. And there's a lot of times this is how people see it. So I appreciate you bringing this up. And this is a really nice way that this is shaping your research. Okay, last question in the segment before we move to something fun. This is my favorite. The
Okay.
next segment is my favorite segment. But what advice would you give to first-gen international students who are just arriving to the US in their first year of grad school?
I would say anything that their experience is okay.
Yeah.
It's like don't there's not their fault no matter
Yeah.
what happened. It's more like the big environment is like this and you as individual you're experienced this. A lot of people would probably put pressure on themselves and be like, oh my God, it's my problems, like
Mm-hmm.
something must wrong with me.
Yeah.
it must be something that I'm not doing good enough. But I think it's not about that. It's really just how it's something that it will happen to everyone.
Yeah,
And you have to kind of understand the thing and also really have to seek for like help if you need it.
yeah,
So I think, yes, for sure, find something that's that you're really passionate about that can carry you through outside of school and
yeah.
research. Because if you don't have that, I just feel like it's gonna be really, really hard.
That's a great advice. I remember like when I first came to MSU, like someone told me that like you're gonna in grad school see this MSU as a bubble and you're gonna forget that they exist outside of this bubble. So make sure you have something outside of this bubble. And I feel like that's such a great advice.
Yes, because I feel like everybody needs some type of expression when it
Yeah.
comes to
Yeah.
things. Is really, really important for each first generation international student or just like period, just grad student
Yeah.
to think they can express.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to express yourself in academia setting or just grad school, but you have to find the way that you can like express your anger,
Yeah.
express loneliness or excitement, anxiety and stuff. Of course you can't hurt anyone,
Yeah.
but
You have to express it positive in a positive way.
yeah.
I love the disclaimer, but no, that's really beautiful. Um, thank you. Thank you for such a deep, insightful segment. I really, really enjoyed talking about it with you. Okay, great. So now my favorite part, the rapid fire Q&A. So basically those are quick, fun, sometimes even deep questions, but you have to use one word, one sentence, or maybe one gut reaction to answer them. Are you
Okay.
ready?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so what wakes you up at night?
Nightmares.
That's fair. Do you have a lot of nightmares?
Yeah, a lot.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's
But
hard.
I feel like that's isn't that one of the isn't they say only when you dream you sleep good?
Really? I don't
Maybe
know.
not nightmares. I don't know.
I don't know. I should read more. My dreams are so weird sometimes, so I don't know. Okay, what wakes you up in the morning?
Hmm, I think observe because I want to observe, so I have to wake up in the morning.
Oh, I love that. That's such a unique answer. What do you hope is said about you behind your back?
What I hope
Yeah.
or what I
What do
uh
you hope?
I hope people say I'm really a chill person.
You seem chill. I can tell you that. What is something that people often get wrong about you?
I would say a lot of people uh towards me, the first impression would be I'm like a really aggressive person
Hmm.
or like I'm a really like a mean person or just I don't really like make friends and stuff.
Oh. I did not get this impression at all, really. Okay, so this is maybe a good time to move a little bit to some Renee Brown inspired ones. So, fill in the blank. Vulnerability is,
Power,
love that. Kindness is,
principle,
success looks like.
daily life,
Love it, surviving. My younger self would be proud of.
everything about me.
Oh, yay.
Yeah.
Um, academia needs more of.
Um, empathy.
Yep. Grad school feels like.
Grad school feels like I um I keep riding a bike, but I don't have wheel on it.
That's such a specific answer. Yep. Yeah. It will have, I don't know. We'll hope it will have wheels at one point, but I
Yeah.
got you.
Hopefully, the longer we ride it, the whale
Yeah.
is just gonna magically appear.
Yeah. That's funny. Okay, so you are called to do something brave, but your fear is real and stuck in your throat. What's the first thing you do?
I would say, try to breathe.
I love
Yeah.
that. Breathe, just breathe. Okay, we're gonna end with some light and fun stuff. What's on your nightstand right now?
On my nightstand. My boyfriend's hats. A lot of them.
He takes the nice sense as a thanks for his hat. Um, last question. It's kind of like a weird question, but I am so curious to know people's answers to this. But if grad school had a mascot, what would it be?
I feel like if they really do have a mascot, it's gonna be something like Transformer.
I
I
love
don't
that.
know
That's
why.
genius. No, that's really good because, like, as a grad student, you're transforming.
Because like when you say that, that's the first thing that pop out in my head.
Yeah.
It's like a Transformer thing.
I honestly love that. That's really good. You have some unique answers. I love that. Okay. Thank you. This was actually really fun. I enjoy playing this game.
Yeah.
Um, so we're gonna move to like the last few segments. Those go a little bit quicker, but you chose to do the kindness challenge. So what's a simple way that people can be kind to themselves or to other people? That people who are listening, um, what's the simple way they can do that?
I would say to yourself, definitely, like I said earlier, don't compete yourself with anyone. If you feel the needs to be competitive, I feel like the person you need to be compete with is yourself. And also for other people, I would say, I don't know, just really take a break when you need a break.
Yeah.
Don't just keep chasing whatever is in your brain. Like focus on
Yeah.
your body, focus on now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice way. Just hear your body. That's a way for us to be kind to ourselves. So I
Yeah.
like that. Okay, so each episode we're gonna have a question from the previous guest. So our previous guest left a question for you. And the question is, what is your favorite musical, if you have one?
Favorite musical?
Yeah,
Um, I actually never really watched musical like that.
we can twist it. What's your favorite, maybe type of music instead?
Mm, yeah, I love R&B. Like
R&B.
90s R&B or 80s or 70s, like so good. I love old R&Bs and just vintage music. Yeah.
Okay, vintage music. That's really interesting. Um, okay. Now, last thing is it's time for you to ask me a question. So do a little bit of like role reversing. So we're gonna flip the mic. You can ask me anything, either about grad school, life, podcasting, something silly, something deep. So whatever you want. What would you like to ask?
Yeah, I do have two questions for you actually.
Yeah.
The first one is I really, really, really admire this idea of starting this like podcast.
Oh,
Is really, really important work because I think grad students need a space to express themselves, to learn, from each other and stuff. So I wanted to know how like when is the first time you had this idea and
yeah.
how you can just I'm gonna put on the work, I'm gonna order the mic, I'm gonna order the headphones. So like when was the first time you had the whole idea and stuff?
Yeah, thank you for asking this. I appreciate everything you said too. Um, yes, so I listen to podcast a lot. I listen to podcast before I go to bed, when I'm doing errands, when I'm commuting, because I'm the type of person who can sit in silence a lot. So I have always something listening to, and I learn a lot. I learn a lot about people, and it's just such a something that I really enjoy doing. So a couple of years ago, I was like, I'm gonna get like a mic, and I'm gonna start my own podcast. Uh, and that uh, like that time, I wasn't thinking about something grad student specific. I was thinking more like I'm just gonna talk to a mic and express myself. Like you were saying in the episode, you need something to express yourselves. But then I started like thinking about interviewing people whenever I'm with friends and they say something so deep, and I'm like, I just wish like people can hear you right now. Like I just wish people know your story because like this is so helpful. So I think a lot of times I feel like people go through things and they think they go through them alone. So the idea of just like listening to other people going through something similar is just so empowering. There was the Great Fellowship. I applied to it and I was like, this is the chance that I'm gonna like be accountable to actually start what I want to do. And then I kind
Yeah.
of applied to it and I started it. So it has been so fun so far.
That is so cool. Cause wow, that's just so cool. To be able to really to do it is
Yeah.
really something different. Cause me and my friend be talking about stuff like this as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have conversations and we'll be like, oh my God, you know what? If we just start a podcast, we're probably gonna
Yeah.
be everybody gonna listen to this.
Yes.
And then, but we never put on the actual work. But you have the like strengths to actually do it. Yeah, it's really cool.
But that takes time too, right? Like, so you one day might actually feel like I want to start it right now. So, like, it's still possible. So, it definitely took time to actually take the mic and start it. And I've heard that this is always the hardest thing to start. So, but
Yeah.
once you're in it,
Exactly.
things become easy. Yeah. Or like easier. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. It's so cool.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the question. I love it. Anything else? Anything you want to end with? Anything you want to say that you did not get the chance to say?
Oh, I have another question for you
Oh,
as well.
yes. Yes.
So I want to know, I want to know your story of going to grad school and what is like the biggest, um, three advices you want to give to everybody as a grad student.
Yeah. So, um, my own story with grad school, I'll try to also like um, give the summary, but the path of being a grad student in the US from Lebanon was not very like standard, at least in my community. So most of my friends would go to Europe, specifically to France. But my advisor kind of knew my current advisor, and he introduced me, and he was like, "How do you feel about going to the US?" And I was like, "Sure." And it's like it's really happened like in a crazy way. Like I had all this plan all my life, and then suddenly a door opened and I took it. And that's how things happened with me all the time. It's just like I will have a plan and then a door opens and I just take the door and it will be so different than the plan. So, um, but yeah, I came to grad school. I think that's would be one of my biggest advice is like it's good to have a plan. I am a big planner, but sometimes if a door opens where the plan is not exactly what you thought it is, don't be scared to take it. Sometimes it's even better than what you thought it is. So
I
that's
love it.
yeah, that would be like one of my biggest like advice. I would say my experience in grad school was a lot of ups and downs. I grew a lot as a person, but I also had one of the hardest years here in grad school. I had hardest one of the hardest moments as well. So it was a lot of ups and downs. I admire how much I grew, but also like it made me realize what's important in life. And it always came back to the simple things like my daily routine, having a support system, my family. So it was just a place where I can like went and then went back full circle to the important things. So I feel like I would just tell people to enjoy this amazing journey. It's gonna be full of growth. It's gonna be full of hardships and very hard moments too. Um, like keep their support system close to them. No one can do it like totally alone.
Yes.
And reach out to people. Like there is someone out there who has gone through something very similar to what they have been through, and maybe they don't know it. Maybe it's someone so close to them and they don't know it. So
Right.
speak out if they can.
Yeah. I love it.
Great
It's so,
question.
I love it.
Thank you.
learning about you is really fascinating as well. Yeah.
Thank you, Izzy. Really, I enjoyed it so much. It was like so deep and so fun. You have so many unique perspectives, and I'm really looking like you have passion also when you talk about like your research, and I really hope like you are able to achieve everything that you want, and yeah, also like have an effect in your own country with your own family and your own community as well. But it was such a joy talking with you.
Yeah, it's the same. Thank you so much for this. I love everything about this podcast. And
Thank
it's
you.
just, yeah, this is something I really enjoy. Like I had a great time
Thank you. You
just
can
being.
come back whenever you want. You can share a different story.
Yes.
Okay. Bye. Thank you everyone for listening. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.